Today we're diving into the world of edible plants, berries, and trees that can help you survive in the wild. Out in nature we follow a different set of rules. We respect nature and learn from it. Knowing what you can eat out here is crucial. It can save your life. It's about being smart, tough, and understanding that nature takes care of us. I'll show you some common edible plants and how to recognize them. But remember, safety first. If you're not sure about a plant, don't eat it. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. The primrose, one of the first signs of spring, is more than just a pretty flower. Look for its delicate, light yellow flowers with heart-shaped petals. You can eat the crinkly leaves and the flowers too. They add color and a light flavor to your wilderness salad. When foraging, only take what you need. Leave enough for the plant to grow and make more primroses. Next we have the thistle. It might look scary with its sharp points, but there's good food underneath. Recognize it by its spiky leaves and purple flower heads. Peel away the tough outer layer of the stem. Eat this part raw or cooked, adding unique flavor to your meals. Fireweed often pops up in burned areas, showing nature's resilience. Recognize it by its tall reddish stems and bright pink four-petaled flowers. You can eat the young shoots and leaves. They have a slightly bitter taste. Eat them raw in a salad or boil them like other greens. Young fireweed, nature's tender shoots. When it comes to fireweed, younger is better. Find the fresh, tender shoots that aren't tough and stringy yet. Eat these young shoots raw for a quick energy boost on your adventure. Just a handful of these nutrient-rich shoots can make a difference. Dandelion, the unsung hero of the plant world. The humble dandelion, often thought of as just a weed, is actually full of nutrition. From its bright yellow flower to its deep root, you can eat the whole thing. The leaves, a bit bitter but packed with vitamins, can be eaten raw or cooked. The flowers add color and sweetness to salads, and the roots, roasted and ground, make a good coffee substitute. Stinging nettles, handling nature's itch. Don't let the name fool you. Stinging nettles, once cooked, are good for you and tasty. Recognize them by their jagged leaves and stinging hairs. Wear gloves when handling them. Boiling or steaming removes the sting, leaving a plant full of vitamins and minerals. Add them to soups, stews, or even make tea with them. Dead nettle, a sting-free delight. Unlike its stinging cousin, dead nettle is harmless to touch, with soft, hairy leaves and delicate white or pink flowers. Often found near stinging nettles, it has a milder flavor. Add leaves and flowers to salads for color and a subtle minty taste. Daisy, more than just a pretty face. The cheerful daisy, a common sight in fields and lawns, is more than just a pretty face. Both the leaves and flowers are edible, offering a mild, slightly nutty flavor. Add them to your wilderness salad for color and texture. Remember, as with all foraging, only take what you need, leaving plenty for the plant to flourish. Ox-eye daisy, the big sister with a gentle touch. The ox-eye daisy, bigger and bolder than its cousin, is a welcome addition to the forager's pantry. Look for its large white flower heads with bright yellow centers and its dark green toothed leaves. Like the common daisy, both leaves and flowers are edible, offering a slightly sweet, tangy flavor to your meals. Hawthorn, nature's tiny apples. The hawthorn, with its thorny branches and clusters of small, red berries, is a familiar sight in hedgerows and woodlands. The berries, known as haws, are the real prize. They have a mealy texture and a tart but pleasant flavor. You can eat them raw or make jellies, jams, or a warming tea. Rowan, jewels of the forest. The rowan tree, with its clusters of bright red berries, is a beacon of color in autumn. While raw berries are bitter, cooking transforms them into a valuable food source. Once cooked, you can make delicious jellies, tangy wines, and flavorful sauces, adding a touch of wilderness magic to meals. Garlic mustard, adding a zest to wilderness cuisine. Garlic mustard, often considered an invasive species, can be a valuable addition to the forager's repertoire. Identify it by its heart-shaped leaves and clusters of small white flowers. As the name suggests, it has a distinct garlic flavor, making it a pungent addition to salads, soups, and stews. Red clover, with its distinctive rounded flower heads and trifoliate leaves, is a common sight in meadows and pastures. The flowers, with their sweet, slightly licorice-like flavor, are a welcome addition to teas. They can also be eaten raw, adding color and a hint of sweetness to your wilderness snacks. Knapweed, with its thistle-like flower heads and tough, wiry stems, might not look like much, but it's an edible gem waiting to be discovered. The leaves and flower heads of this plant are edible, offering a slightly bitter but palatable flavor. Use them sparingly in salads or as a garnish for wilderness meals. The greater knapweed, as its name suggests, is a larger version of its knapweed cousin. Look for its large purple flower heads and deeply lobed leaves. Like regular knapweed, its leaves and flower heads are edible, offering a slightly sweet and nutty flavor. Add them to salads or use them as a garnish for a touch of wilderness flair. Burdock, with its large rhubarb-like leaves and prickly seed heads, is best known for its edible root. This long brown taproot, often found growing in disturbed ground, can be eaten raw but is best cooked. Roast it, boil it, or add it to soups and stews for a unique flavor. The elderberry, with its clusters of small dark purple berries, is a valuable find for the forager. However, a word of caution: while cooked berries are safe and delicious, raw berries, leaves, and stems contain something that can make you sick. Always cook elderberries thoroughly before eating them. Once cooked, they can be used to make syrups, jellies, and even wine. The blackberry, with its thorny canes and clusters of juicy black berries, is a true wilderness delight. These sweet, tart berries are a treat on any foraging expedition. Eat them raw, straight off the bush, or use them to make delicious jams, pies, and desserts. Remember to watch out for thorns when picking these treats. Pineapple weed, with its feathery leaves and cone-shaped yellow flower heads, might surprise you with its unique aroma. Crush the flowers between your fingers, and you'll release a sweet, pineapple-like scent. These flowers are edible, adding a tropical twist to teas and other beverages. The rosehip, the fruit of the rose plant, is a small, red, berry-like fruit that appears after the rose has flowered. These tangy, slightly sweet fruits are packed with vitamin C, making them a valuable find for the forager. Eat them raw, or use them to make delicious teas, syrups, and jellies. The crabapple, smaller and more tart than store-bought varieties, is a wild treat worth finding. These small fruits, often found in hedgerows and woodlands, can be eaten raw, but their tart flavor is better when cooked. Use them to make delicious jellies, tangy sauces, and even homemade crabapple cider. Pine trees, those majestic evergreens, offer more than just shelter and shade. Their needles, often overlooked as a food source, can be used to make a refreshing vitamin C-rich tea. Simply steep a handful of fresh pine needles in hot water for a few minutes to get their nutrients. Pine nuts, the small teardrop-shaped seeds found within certain pine cones, are a true wilderness delicacy. These nutritious nuts, with their delicate, buttery flavor, can be eaten raw, roasted, or ground into a fine meal for baking. Harvesting pine nuts can take a while, but the reward is worth the effort. Poppy seed. Tiny seeds, big potential. The poppy, known for its bright flowers, also has tiny black seeds you can eat. These seeds, with their nutty flavor and crunch, can be used in sweet and savory dishes. Harvest them from the dried seed pods of the poppy plant and use them to add flavor and texture to your meals. Walnuts. Cracking open a nutritious treat. Walnuts, those hard-shelled treasures, are a nutritious find for the forager. Look for these nuts encased in green husks, often found beneath walnut trees in autumn. Crack open the tough shells to reveal the prize inside, the rich, buttery nut meat. Eat them raw, roast them, or grind them into a meal for baking. Acorn, a nutty staple of the wild. Acorns, the fruit of the oak tree, have been a staple food source for centuries. Though high in tannins, making them bitter raw, proper processing transforms them into a nutritious ingredient. Leaching acorns in water removes tannins, making them palatable. Once leached, acorns can be ground into flour for baking, roasted as a snack, or used in various other ways. Always properly identify any plant before eating it in the wild. Use a reliable field guide, double-check what you find, and when in doubt, don't risk it. The wilderness is full of surprises, and with a little knowledge, you can turn a simple plant into food and energy. Knowing what to eat in the wild connects us to our ancestors, to the land, and to our ability to survive. It's about respecting nature's gifts and understanding that survival depends on our ability to adapt. Stay safe and happy foraging.